Affordable housing in the Cape Town CBD promises to be a key electioneering point in the upcoming local government elections. The Good Party firing a salvo last week when mayoral candidate Brett Herron accused the DA-run Cape Town Council of keeping people of colour out of the CBD when it scuttled plans for affordable housing in Salt River. That project was put on hold back in 2017, prompting Herron's resignation along with a handful of DA councillors. Last week, a war of words erupting between the DA's mayoral candidate, Geordin and Public Works Minister Patricia de Lille over the release of state-owned land for affordable housing. So this morning, de Lille will be conducting a media tour, that's to several sites in the city of Cape Town, which could be used to undo apartheid-era spatial planning. In fact, the Good Party leader, Patricia de Lille, joins us now for more on the story. Patricia, it's great to have you with us on the show this morning. It really is election season. In fact, your party's mayoral candidate, Brett Herron, making some massive promises around housing in the city of Cape Town if the Good Party does come into power. And the big one here, he says we will undo the effects of apartheid and achieve spatial justice. As far as big promises go, that's a massive one.
No, it's not a promise at all, Michelle. Good morning to you. We have already started this in 2017 when I was the mayor of the city of Cape Town and Brett Herron was responsible for transport and housing. Mm-hmm. We feel that access to affordable housing is a very serious issue. And therefore, it's wrong to play politics and to lie about the availability of land. So the purpose of today is to illustrate there is no need for either the provincial government or the city government to wait for land that must be released from national government to enable them to build houses. It is a lie, and it's a damn lie, what that we are going to expose this morning. There are several pieces of land available in the city and in the province. And it's very easy. That's why I call on the media, I call on the citizens, all of them to hold all governments to account. The time has come that governments must show us where they have well-located land that's on their immovable asset register. It's also wrong just to accept when some politician tells you that there is no land available. And that is the lie that we are going to dismiss with the contempt that it deserves today.
And
in the city,
Patricia, if I might come in there, I want to just give our viewers, because they might be wondering what you're referring to. It's in response to the DA's mayoral candidate, Geordin asking you to release that land that's being used to house parliamentarians.
Most definitely, Michelle. Yeah. And also that he, as Geordin he cancelled his lease in Acacia Park in the parliamentary village. He's got a house in Cape Town himself, so there was no need for him to take a parliamentary village house. But the DA has got 65 other members of parliament living in those houses, and many of them have called me to say that there is no mandate that DA members must leave the parliamentary villages. But the politics that he's playing with this is that a government must not provide accommodation to public representatives. The reason why we have got accommodation for members of parliament in these villages is because of apartheid. Apartheid has agreed to put a parliament in Cape Town and the executive in Pretoria. And therefore, all members of parliament over the past 50 years have been able to use that as accommodation. But if he speaks about public representatives, he must include all public representatives. The Western Cape government has got a policy that if a member of the executive lives more than 50 kilometers outside the city of Cape Town, they are entitled to free accommodation. We also have got the Premier's residence. Once Alan Winde, already from the city of Cape Town with a house in the city of Cape Town, once he was elected, he moved into Leeuwenhof, the Premier's residence. The same with Premier Helen Zille before. So he is playing politics with a very serious issue of housing that we are going to show today that he is a liar, and he's a blue liar, because there are lots of land available in the city centre, which I have started together with Brett Herron, and we can show the proof of that today to the media, and those projects were cancelled.
I mean, what you're saying now is in stark contrast to what Geordin Hill-Lewis says, because he says there's actually a huge shortage of well-located land in Cape Town.
No, he's telling lies. He is absolutely a blue liar, and that is the purpose of the exercise today, Michelle. I've got a memory stick because I've got access to the provincial immovable asset register of the Western Cape, like I've got access to all other provincial asset registers. And I will show the media today that on that immovable asset register, there are at least 450 pieces of land that's vacant, that's on that asset register. So it is just that either out of experience, inexperience, or just plain stupidity that he did not check the immovable asset register of the province and the city. When I was the mayor of the city of Cape Town, I did an audit on land available in the city, and we discovered 3,000 pieces of land over and above what that the city didn't even know belonged to the city. So I'm just saying, Michelle, this is a very serious issue. We shouldn't play with the needs of the people. This can actually lead to land invasions, because he is now saying to the people that there's no land, and I'm going to show the people that we've got land in our country. But I will not be as irresponsible as he was to play political football with the people of Cape Town.
Yeah, and I mean, the last time that you and I spoke, it was also on the issue of land, particularly in Cape Town, moving communities closer to the city centre, moving them closer to economic opportunities. Is this an issue that, for historic reasons, in your own personal experience, is something that's close to your heart?
Definitely. Public land must be used for public good. That is where we depart from. I will also show the media today that in 2011, when I was elected the mayor, together with Robin Carlyle, who was the MEC for Transport and Public Works at the time, that there was a plan called the Inner Cities Redevelopment. And Robin Carlyle, at that point, made reference to about 6 different pieces of land and buildings available for housing development. Today, more than 10 years later, nothing has been done. I've got a list of all of those sites too. And I just want to show Cape Townians, and indeed the country, that the DA is resistant to integration because they want to keep the cities the way it used to be 350 years ago. What Good wants to do is that we want to bring back our people that were forcibly removed, Michelle, from Woodstock, Salt River, the city centre, and by the Group Areas Act of Apartheid too. We still not dealt with that spatial development of apartheid. People are still traveling far to get to the city. 40% of the income they spend alone just on transport. And that is the sadness of the story. I want to cry if I think about what the DA is doing to our people. And every year they come and make empty promises to the people instead of releasing that well-located land. But this is the last. I will again appeal to the media to hold all of us accountable and ask every single province, all 9 of them, all 8 metropolitans, all 258 municipalities, all state-owned entities, let them open up what is on their asset register so that we can put all of that land together in one pot, and we are then able to speed up land reform. But for as long as we are going to be accepting that they are lying to us, to say that we don't have well-located land, then we will never be able to drive land reform. Now, I will be the first who's responsible, who is the custodian of national land belonging to national government. Just recently, the central line in Cape Town has not been operating for the past 4 years. Many people are stranded without transport. It is my department that has released land to help Minister Mbalula to remove people from the railway lines so that the railway lines can start working. But this lies must not come to an end. This blue lies, the world and indeed the city of Cape Town and the country needs to know that the DA, they are liars, and I can prove it today.
Let me ask you this, because you come onto the channel saying that it shouldn't be about electioneering, and I'm sure the people in Cape Town who live in areas like Mitchell's Plain, who get up at 3, 4 in the morning, for example, to travel to the city centre to get a bus, to get 2 buses, 2 taxis, they'll be listening and they'll be hoping that these kinds of conversations do lead to real changes in their own lives. Is it not possible to get together as political powerhouses in the province and to come up with a solution that benefits the people first?
Well, Michelle, these things that I'm talking about today is not just because of elections. They are well documented. In 2018, this was the key reason why I resigned from the Democratic Alliance and as mayor of the city of Cape Town before my term came to an end, because I was prevented from building houses in well-located areas. After I've released 14 pieces of well-located land to build affordable housing, that's when the problem started with the DA and finally ended up in court where they've lost 4 cases against me at the time. So this is nothing new. Everybody in the city of Cape Town and indeed in the country knew why I left. It was because of this. So it doesn't mean now that because it's elections, it is being raised again because Lille Lewis was so insensitive because he doesn't care about poor people to go and try and play politics with parliamentary accommodation where 68 of his own party members are living. That's why it's coming up. But I can tell you that I have been working together with the mayor in the city of Cape Town, Mayor Dan Plato. With or without the DA, we are going to integrate the city of Cape Town. There is a big building of about 20, 25 stories called Customs House in the city of Cape Town. We are working together with Mayor Dan Plato we are going to release, that is national government, is going to release Custom House for affordable housing, well-located land in the city centre itself. I'm also working with Mayor Dan Plato on other pieces of land to provide a space for cemeteries. So we have been working well together. Maybe that is why he is not the mayoral candidate, because he has been trying very hard that we should work together as all 3 spheres of government. But it's not for the lack of trying, Michelle. We're working together. And I can even give that examples to the media too today to show how Mayor Dan Plato and myself and the department has been working together to release land. And I've raised the issue of that well-located land several times with the mayor. And the mayor has admitted that in 2017 or 2018, when after we left, those projects were cancelled.
So that media tour to several sites in the city of Cape Town will be undertaken by the good party leader, Patricia Lille. Thanks very much indeed for joining us this morning. And I think perhaps...
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I think perhaps just as a An important point to mention is that we will be reaching out to Geordin Hill-Lewis, that is the DA's mayoral candidate in Cape Town. Plenty of comments made there about his grasp of the apartheid-era spatial planning situation in the city. We'll try and get him a right of reply a little later on the channel.